What kind of a mount are you looking for? A backyard pet your children can grow up with? Or a reliable trail animal to help you enjoy the high country? Do you love a reining spin or the intricate moves of the dressage arena? Do you long to be flying high on a jump course? Or does driving a Surrey with the fringe on top sound like your cup of tea? Whatever kind of equine companion you're looking for, you'll want one that will perform in a safe, obedient manner. The purpose of these programs is to help you understand mules and donkeys and learn how to handle and train them correctly. Now, we know that not everyone watching owns a mule. Some of you own horses. Well, there's something here for you too. You'll notice that these are simple, easy-to-follow lessons. They're designed to teach you a variety of correct training methods for horses as well as for mules and donkeys. The result? Whether his ears are long or short, you'll have a well-mannered, well-trained animal. This program features segments from an award-winning video series created for the equine industry by acclaimed trainer and educator Meredith Hodges. Because of this, you'll hear occasional references to the videos and also to the workbooks and field cards that are included with the video series. The field cards that come with the videos are a great training tool that can be taken right into the arena. We'll be sure to give you information on the complete training series later in the program. Now let's learn a little about Meredith Hodges and why so many people rely on her as their training consultant.
My wife and I raise donkeys, mules for a hobby, for pleasure. We came across Meredith's video series, and the information is just invaluable. It's far better than going to a seminar because I can view the videos over and over again. But what really sold me was with each video, there's a workbook and a field card that applies to each specific video. I take the workbooks to work with me when I'm working on a specific procedure because I'm just a novice. And then the field cards I can take with me right into the round pen with you while you're working with your animals and having a good time. And that's what Meredith tapes are so specific in understanding your animals. She shows you how to have a good time while you're training your animals so you can have a good time in the saddle, in the field, and enjoy your critters the way it should be. Thanks.
Mules are wonderful animals. They're strong, intelligent, affectionate, with a great sense of humor, and what incredible athletes. But training a mule is different than training a horse. When you're training a mule, you have to take into consideration the donkey half as well as the horse half. In this program, we'll teach you the fundamentals of lunging, both in the round pen and in the open. You'll learn the importance of developing good muscle conditioning in frame with the use of a restraint called the elbow pull. Developing these muscles in the right frame from the beginning will strengthen your equine's muscles correctly in preparation for riding, driving, and packing.
Each week our program covers a different phase of management and training. No matter what kind of equine companion you're interested in, you'll find techniques that will help you reach your training goals and bond with your animal in the process. Just remember, the keys to success are patience, kindness, and understanding.
Groundwork sets the foundation for all your mule's advanced training. Training your mule for the saddle is easier if he learns to lunge first. In lunging, he'll learn more voice commands that will be the foundation for all of his future training. Plus, lunging helps in getting your mule fit. Lunging helps develop his muscles, balance, and rhythm. It's also good exercise and a great way to warm him up or let him get the kinks out and make sure he's ready to work. You can begin lunging your mule for short periods of time, about 10 minutes. As he becomes conditioned, you can lunge him longer, but 30 minutes is about the max, even for a mature mule. We begin by free lunging and then with lunge lines in the round pen, and finally with lunge lines in a larger arena. Let's talk a moment about the equipment you'll need for the next phase of your mule's training. You will need a halter, a lunge whip, and splint boots to protect your mule's front legs. By the way, if you're buying a lunge whip, remember that it should be long enough to reach your mule when you're in the center of the round pen. It should also be light enough so you can hold it up shoulder height for 20 minutes. The best place to train your mule to lunge is in a round pen. Many trainers say the ideal round pen is 45 feet in diameter. Anyway, it should be large enough for him to canter, but small enough that you can stand in the center and reach him with your lunge whip. If you don't have a round pen, you can use a small square pen and use 4 stout posts across the corners to make it round. Before I start working with this youngster, watch me working with this older mule. See how important your focus point is? Here I'm focused on the tail and the mule is moving forward. When I change my focus to the front, the mule slows down and turns. Now let's go back to working with the youngster. Remove the lead shank and quietly move to the center. Focus your eyes on his tail and hold the lunge whip out to the side, well behind him. Tell him to trot on. Don't worry about him trotting or playing, you just want him to move forward. After he's gone around 4 or 5 times, tell him to whoa and focus your eyes on his, stepping sideways and ahead of him. When he halts, walk up and praise him. Repeat the exercise going the other way. Remember, you're asking for him to react to your command to trot on and to whoa. Later, we'll get fussier. After a few days, he should be responding to the trot on and whoa command. Let's speed things up a bit. To ask him to canter, begin by asking him to trot. When he's moving out freely, tell him to canter and move the whip closer to his rear. Praise him when he canters. Remember, just a few strides is fine and then let him pick his gait. Count the number of times he circles. Work him evenly on both sides. If he's stiffer one direction, work that direction a little longer until he seems more even on both sides. After a few sessions, when he's comfortable with the canter, teach him to come down to a trot. To do this, say trot and move your whip away from his rear. Take a half step sideways and ahead, just enough for him to slow down, then return to center. When he trots smoothly, ask him to whoa. Verbal commands for gaits and transitions build the foundation for the higher levels of training to come. At this point, it's best to stop him and turn him by hand. It's less confusing. Eventually, he'll be ready to learn the last command, reverse. As he travels around, the gait doesn't matter, tell him reverse, and then turn away from him, step toward the rail and strike the whip down well ahead of him. By turning away, you emphasize the difference between the whoa and the reverse command. By now, your mule has learned the basic commands by free lunging, walk, trot, canter, whoa, and reverse. The next step is to teach him to lunge in a bridle and saddle. Mules are very sensitive about their balance. They need to build their own muscles to carry their own balance well enough so they are not upset by pulls on a lunge line. This is why we saddle and bridle the mule and work them into a strong frame before lunging on the lunge line. There are hundreds of types of bits on the market, but the only kind you'll need is a smooth, broken-mouth jointed snaffle. Your mule must be taught to accept the bit, and he won't do it unless it fits him properly and is not severe. Bridling your mule for the first time is easy if you follow this procedure. Loop your bridle and reins around your left arm. Approach the mule from the left side. With your mule wearing his halter and safely tied, unbuckle the halter and slip it around his neck, rebuckling it. Place yourself between his shoulder and head facing front. Take the reins and the crown piece of the bridle in your right hand, coming over his head and between his ears. Hold the bit in your left fingers and press on the bars of his mouth with your thumb. When he opens his mouth, pull the bridle up with your right hand. Push his right ear gently through the crown first, then his left. Lots of praise and assurance as he gets used to having a bit in his mouth. The last thing you want is for the reins to be dangling and dangerous. To avoid this, simply take the reins off. Your workbook has details about proper bit adjustment. I also recommend that you use a flash or drop noseband to keep his mouth shut. By gapping his mouth, he's trying to avoid the bit. Plus, it's easier to stop a habit before it becomes one. We'll be back to introduce your mule to tack and training aids.
Colorful Colorado, with its majestic Rocky Mountains and wide open spaces, also boasts the Loveland Long Ears Museum and Sculpture Park at the Lucky 3 Ranch, home of some of the finest mules and donkeys in the world. This working ranch is just 40 miles north of Denver. World-renowned authority on mules and donkeys, Meredith Hodges, invites you and your family for an adventure in learning you won't want to miss. Come visit the Lucky 3 Ranch, meet Meredith, her champion mules and donkeys, and take in the beauty of her long ears art for the experience of a lifetime.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch Training Tips. Make sure the bridle fits snugly around the face. Check to see that the egg butt snaffle bit is the correct width and comfortable for your equine. Both the noseband and flash noseband should be adjusted snugly around the nose to prevent gaping of the mouth. Egg butt snaffles, unlike a lot of other snaffle bits, are designed so the hinges cannot pinch the sensitive corners of the equine's mouth. This will prevent chafing and keep your equine sensitive to your cues at this point of contact for communication. Those equines who are sensitive to the hinge in the bit can be fitted with a straight bar mouthpiece. I would avoid any bits with rollers because these types of bits can actually escalate oral fixation problems. Make sure the ears, especially on mules and donkeys, are not being pinched. Make sure the brow band is wide enough for the broader forehead on most long ears. Make sure the reins are long enough to allow the equine to fully extend his head and neck for stretches. The saddle should be placed in the center of his back behind the shoulder blades and not over them. Set the saddle so the girth lies 3 to 4 inches back from the forearm. This is behind the sensitive skin where most chafing occurs. It is advisable to teach your equine to stretch the front legs forward to even out the skin underneath the girth before exercising. Any equine that does not have adequate withers to hold the saddle in place will need a crupper. The crupper should be snug, but not tight. To prevent chafing, just use Johnson's baby oil in the tail during weekly grooming. A loose crupper will definitely chafe the equine's tail. Breeching will restrict hindquarter movement and is not advised for riding. The elbow pull should be pre-measured to fit your particular equine and should be used only as instructed in our Equus Revisited manual and DVD combo. The elbow pull is a self-correcting restraint and must be properly measured and adjusted to do its job. Check the details in Equus Revisited to make sure you are doing things correctly for optimum results. Now you are ready to begin lunging. Here's an engineer. How did you know that? So we go see a huge mule. Because this takes too fine. Stroke with the head. That's all you gotta do. Okay, come on, boys. Let's go. Come on.
Every owner knows that a well taken care of equine is a happy equine. More and more, a technique being used to enhance our animals' overall conditioning is equine massage.
What you have to realize is you're training an animal in their muscle tissue, and their muscle tissue has to be able to perform the task that you're asking the animal to perform. If you're having a hard time doing the advanced things, you need to go back to the beginning. The massage helps break the pattern of the neurons that fire to that muscle, that tell it to contract, to contract, to contract.
With proper instruction, just about anyone can learn to give their equine the benefit of basic massage.
I've been working on equines for a long time, and a lot of people look at you and hope that you can just come out and make an animal better. And you can't do that. It takes two pieces, the massage as well as the exercise. And the exercise is actually more important than the massage. And that's something that people really have to understand. And Meredith's tapes do that. And a lot of people don't want to take that long a time frame. They just want to do their 60 days, get on the animal and ride them. But that's not really where you can go with their backs.
For more intensive therapeutic massage, be sure to consult a professional. Equine massage not only enhances your animal's health and overall condition, it's also a deeply personal and rewarding bonding experience for both of you.
Many of you who love your horses also love your dogs. This type of massage can be beneficial for all your pets. If you want to improve your animal's quality of life, I can help. I can either teach you how to do it, or I can massage your dogs for you. Contact me at dogmassage.com.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines. The whip is used in lunging to create movement and encourage impulsion during lunging training in the round pen, while ground driving, and while lunging in the open arena on the lunge line. It should never be used abusively for any reason, only for encouragement.
Good girl, come on.
When lunging, avoid desensitizing your equine to the whip. Abrupt movements can sometimes be helpful in getting the correct response, such as encouraging forward movement to the rail, increased impulsion on the circle,
Vicky, first!
and later executing a prompt reverse. When you first send him to the rail of the round pen, your equine may not understand what you're asking. Begin by having him track to the left. Point in the direction of travel and then crack the whip behind his haunches. This should spook him enough to move him forward and to the rail. Then follow up with cracks of the whip if he begins to slow down or waver from the rail. When he moves away from the rail, don't hesitate to step closer to him, keeping your eyes focused on his hindquarters to keep the forward movement and to regulate consistency in his gait. If he ignores the whip, you can try hitting the fence hard behind him. The noise will most likely startle him and send him forward where a silent whip may not. If he still resists, you will need to make contact with his hindquarters on the fatty part of his hip above his hock, but only once, and then wait for the surge forward. If the surge does not come, you can then strike him again, but always be patient and wait long enough for the surge ahead before striking him again. The strike should be a forceful flicking of the tip of the whip and not laying the entire lash across his entire back end. With practice, you will be able to strike wherever you aim and manage the severity of the strike. Once he understands that the whip is simply to reinforce your verbal communication and body language, you can then do an exercise to acquaint him with the whip. This exercise will let him know it's not meant for punishment, only for direction. Use the whip as an extension of your hands and touch him all over with it, much like you did during kicking training, but do not strike the whip. Just caress his entire body with the lash while soothing him with your voice. He will soon discover the whip is not a threat, but rather a directive device.
Artwork inspired by mules and donkeys is quickly gaining popularity. Tennessee mule artist Bonnie Shields has the uncanny ability to capture the fun-loving nature of these free-spirited animals.
They were like a horse, but they weren't like a horse. They had a little different body. They used their body a different way. They certainly had a different mental attitude. So they started intriguing me as an artist, and I kept finding the differences between them and the horse, both physically and in their reaction to things. So that started my love affair with the mule. When you deal with the mule, you're not always in charge. So it takes a little bit of a different kind of personality to appreciate the mule and to work with her.
She was the only artist that could really capture the essence of mules and donkeys. The mules and donkeys are really good teachers and teachers of life lessons. And Bonnie has just been an inspiration to me ever since. Wow, how'd it do?
Whoa. I know that all through the years, Meredith gives tours to the ranch. But what a wonderful addition to this whole ranch would be a sculpture park just for the mules and the donkeys. So I just thought it was an awesome idea. And then she let me be part of it. It's a wonderful thing, and when you come to visit the Lucky Three, it's just an added bonus.
Mule people, you reckon I can get Meredith to make a tape on how to teach your mule to shovel snow? I sure gonna try. Wish me luck.
Just a wonderful human being, and working with her is always humorous. She is just funny as the day is long, and so I thought that she would be absolutely perfect as the illustrator for the Jasper series that I wanted to do.
The Daydreamers was inspired by a thing that I saw years ago. I heard about this family up in Kentucky. They'd been working tobacco out in the field with their mules. And one of the boys, he was laying across this mule's back, laying in the shade. They'd been working, and he was resting on the back of his mule in the shade. That just kind of stuck with me, and I thought, gee, a kid like that, you know, he thinks he's stuck on the farm. He thinks he's stuck doing all this terrible old work, and he's laying up there and he's daydreaming about getting away from it all. So that's where Daydreamer came from. Sculpture's not the only thing I do. Matter of fact, I got into sculpture maybe a little later in my career. Mostly, I was known for my pencil drawings and my acrylic paintings for many, many years.
Long ears art. It may be whimsical, like a cartoon, or it may simply be breathtaking. Long ears are taking their place in the world of art, and it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Meredith has learned that mules are a lot like children. They learn best when they're taught a logical progression, each lesson building on the previous. That's why it's real important to establish a routine with steps that you do each day. That way, something new like, well, saddling a young mule is merely another step in the training program, done with apparent ease, and I might add, without a fight. Now, the key is to teach only one thing at a time and repeat it in the same manner daily until mastered. Then proceed to the next learning experience.
By now you've been saddling your mule regularly, and he's comfortable with wearing the saddle while you explore obstacles or go on a trail walk. He's gotten used to lunging with the bridle and bit. Now it's time for him to get used to lunging while he's saddled and to begin getting used to training aids. Saddle your mule while he's haltered. If you're using an English saddle, either run the irons up or take them off. See your workbook if using a Western saddle. It shows how to tie a snug line from one stirrup to the other under your mule's belly so they don't flap and bump. Strap a surcingle around the saddle. This allows for more variety in your draw rein positions. It also holds the saddle more securely in place. Without a surcingle, he might pull the saddle to one side if the girth is not tight or if the mule is flat over the withers. Be sure to cinch up slowly with lots of talking and assurances that everything is all right. It should be snug, but not too tight. Here's a special way to avoid dangling dangerous reins while he's being lunged. Simply run them through the throat latch of your bridle and attach them loosely to the saddle. Again, free lunge him in this rigging until he is quiet and relaxed. Once he's used to free lunging in a saddle and bridle, it's time for him to begin learning to carry himself correctly. Training aids will help us accomplish this. Let's first talk about horses.
Okay, before we put on the elbow pull, which is simply another setting for the draw reins, and this is something we can use on a mule, I'm going to show you how we put the same kind of concept to work with horses. We use a lariat rope instead, and instead of having a hard and fast tie, we're going to have a rope that can slip. Horses have an entirely different reaction to this sort of thing than a mule does. We're going to start here and take the end of our lariat rope and run it through the bit. We're going to go from the bit over the pole and down through the bit on the other side. Then we're going to get our lariat evened up on both sides here, pulling it through gently so as not to upset the animal in any way. Then first I'll go over to the off side here, and the next place I'm going to run the lariat is between the front legs and up and over the back. Then I'll come to the other side and do the same thing. I'll take the excess rope, run it between the front legs and over the back. We're going to take our two pieces here, and we're just going to tie a regular knot, only we're going to go around twice instead of once. We're going to take one loop and two loops. And we're going to adjust it by pulling. As you can see, it slips, so if your horse starts pulling back on the rope, it'll give. It won't hold him hard and fast. And horses have a tendency to fly back if they're held too tight in one position, so this will keep him from doing that. So you adjust your rope so that his head is just a little bit above the vertical. And then once you've got that set in place, you can start lunging your horse. Now we'll go to the elbow pull from the draw reins on a mule, which is a more hard tie. The elbow pull is merely a setting of your draw reins. If you don't have any draw reins, you can make them by getting a lightweight, soft cotton or even nylon rope of medium width, such as this. Get two snaps and put them on either end. Next, I'll show you how to put them in the elbow position on your mule. Basically, we're going to do the same thing as we did with the lariat. We're going to go through the bit, over the pole, through the bit on the other side, and pull it even. Then we're going to go through the front legs, only instead of tying over the top like we did with the lariat, we're going to tie into the surcingle here, and it's a hard tie. It does not slip, it does not give like it did with the horse. We're going to adjust this elbow pull so that this mule is just above the vertical. If you have a little extra rope at the top, just slip it through the D-ring. You want to use a rolled type of rope so that you can slip the snap through the D-ring if it's too long and bring it down to whatever position you need. Roll the rope open and put your snap in. When you run your rope, you want it to come from the inside to the outside and over the pole. To check your elbow pull and make sure it's in the right position, lift your mule's head till it becomes tight, and make sure that her poll is just as slightly above her withers.
The principle behind the elbow pull is simple. If your mule tries to raise his head too high, the pull puts pressure on his poll, on the mouth, on the elbows, and on the back. If he carries himself correctly, balanced, in frame, there will be no pressure. As we mentioned earlier, here's an example of what you might see. This mule is stiffer going to the right. See how he raises his head above the vertical and bends his body to the outside. He's stiffer on the left side and needs more work going to the right. Free lunge him several times in the elbow pull and watch him smooth out before your very eyes. When he responds easily to all your commands in the elbow pull, he's ready to learn ground driving.
Your lunge line should be 20 to 25 feet long, and be sure to wear gloves when you're lunging. When you attach the lunge line to the bridle, run it through the ring and attach it on the other side. And when you change directions, you're going to have to change the lunge line position. Come.
With the lunge line in your right hand and the whip in your left, start your mule in a clockwise direction. See how you're forming a triangle between your mule, the line, and the whip? Work him with the usual voice commands. It's best to start in the round pen to avoid resistance. When time comes to reverse, halt your mule and clip the lunge line to the opposite side of the bridle. See how the lunge line works? If he needs reinforcement of a cue, like go from a canter to a trot, a short tug of the line is all you need. Now you're ready to go from the round pen to a larger, more open arena.
Before you leave the round pen, be sure to loosen your draw reins.
Since you've only worked your mule by your side on a lead rope, take a moment to assure him that it's okay for him to move farther away. With the lead rope on, ask him to go around you. Use your lunge whip to guide him if necessary. As he gets better about going around you, switch to the lunge line, but start out with him fairly close. Increase his freedom with his understanding of what's expected. Don't worry if he tries to get away, and don't hang on. If it looks like he's going to get away from you, let go before he feels any pull on the line. Just stay where you are and coax him back to you of his own accord by offering a reward. Before you know it, you'll both be comfortable with his safely lunging at all gaits in a more open setting. It will be much easier to get the bucks out or warm him up before a show or trail ride if he learns to lunge in a more open setting. Next week, we'll take your mule from lunging to ground driving. Please join us to see how much fun this can be.
Having problems? Need an accessible trainer? Whether you're just a weekend trail rider or showing, the principles of training are the same. You want a safe and reliable equine companion. Produced by Meredith Hodges, Training Mules and Donkeys, a logical approach to long ears, will help you build a good working relationship with your animal. Meredith reveals the secrets of successful maintenance and resistance-free training that can be implemented by anyone, resulting in a satisfying partnership between you and your equine. Meredith answers your training questions promptly via mail or phone. Her books are great general resources and her videos are detailed, outlining the day-to-day exercises needed to produce a versatile and dependable equine companion. Meredith's techniques work with all equines. Do you have children? Grandchildren? Check out Jasper, the story of a mule. For more information, check out our website at www.lucky3ranch.com or call 1-800-816-7566.
Mules are working their way into the hearts of people everywhere. If you'd like to know more about these wonderful long-eared animals, you can contact us at 1-800-816-7566 or get on our website at lucky3ranch.com.
Dusty old quilt hung crooked on a couch in an old stone house by a lazy river. Songbirds singing to me like slow